cooking show.
Okay, hi everybody. This is my first cooking class, and I am I'm just gonna keep it really simple today. So I'm gonna make a grilled cheese. So first, you have to get a pan and put a little bit of butter in, and then I put it on sort of a medium heat to melt the butter while I get my bread and cheese. And I'm going to show you a trick that I have for cheese coming up in just a second. So for grilled cheese, what I find to be the easiest technique is to grate your cheese. It just spreads across the bread a little bit better than, because what I use is just like a solid, sharp cheddar, usually aged about 6 years. And that, when you just cut it up, it can be pretty crumbly and dry and a little harder to kind of get across the width and space of the bread in a nice way. So what I find really helpful is I grate the cheese. So that's my pro tip number one. So now you've got your cheese grated. That's probably a good enough size for one whole grilled cheese sandwich. So next what we're going to do is we're going to take this over to the pan and put the bread into the pan, and then directly on top of the bread drop the grilled cheese. It just is a little bit easier that way, so you don't, because it's grated, you don't lose any of the cheese along the way if you were to assemble the sandwich outside of the pan and then put it in the pan. Okay, so we're back at the stove. The butter is nicely melted, and we have our cheese right here, really close by. Another pro tip is I take the bread and I use frozen. It just tends to grill up really nicely and kind of hold its form, hold the cheese while it's melting, instead of the cheese kind of spilling out. So we're gonna take our grated cheese, put it in, and just like spread it around evenly. It's okay if a couple pieces come off. It's okay. All right, yeah. A little bit of carrot in there because I grated it, right? So I used a grater, and sometimes, oh, sorry, here we go. Center it there. So I leave a little space on the edges, so as it melts, it doesn't, come off too much. But I want to fill it in too because I want it to be robust. So now that I have my cheese in, I'm going to put the next piece of bread on top. And then what I do is I cover it. I cover it so that it keeps the heat in, kind of helps the top melt. So I'm going to get my cover it up. Okay, just put the cover on. Okay, and I just kind of let it go for a couple minutes, and then I turn it over and I grill the other side. And the way I check when it's time to turn it is I kind of look to see, like, is the cheese getting like a little sweaty? It's not yet. It's still pretty solid, still has its form, the original form. And so I'm gonna wait till it's a little bit more like a little softer, sweatier, and then I'll turn it. Okay, so it's been on the pan at medium heat for about a minute and a half. What I do, so the cheese doesn't really look like melted yet and sweaty, so I just kind of look a little bit. Hold on. It's harder than it looks to get it. All right, especially when you're holding the camera, it's really hard. All right, I'm gonna I'm just gonna use my own hand because I'm cooking this for me. But normally I would use a spatula, but I have to hold the camera. It's kind of tricky. Anyway, let's just take a look. Can we see? Oh yeah. Yep, it's nicely browned, so that's a really good sign. I am going to turn down the heat a little because you want that cheese to start melting, but you don't want the bread to burn. It's a really fine line. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip it over, just flip it, and then give this side a a little chance to brown, and then see where we are with the cheese melting. So it's gotten maybe, I don't know, maybe 60 seconds now on the other, on like the virgin side. So you can see this is a really nicely toasted side, and what I like is actually that it's quite brown and crusty, but then you still have a bit of a soft, more virgin-like side right here, which is good because it adds a little bit of texture and variety to the sandwich. So it's not all just crunch, but you have the freshness as well of this one portion. I think it just adds a little texture, so I recommend it. Now you're gonna see what I was talking about. Like the cheese is starting to get a little sweaty here. I don't know if you can see. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Yep. So let's just give it another minute on this side. All right, this is one of my other like pro tips, is that what you have to mid cooking sometimes add a little extra butter so that each side gets an even amount of the melted butter. Now it still needs some more time, so we're going to just give it another. All right, now this is the moment of truth. It looks like it's been about enough time, so we are going to flip it over and see. Okay, just bring it over to this side. Kind of, it's hard to flip because there's just so much butter. Hold on a second. It's really, hold on, really hard to flip, especially with just one hand. Okay, yeah, there we go. That was good. Yeah, it looks good here too. I mean, could use a little more browning here on the side, but this side's looking pretty good. And we want to make sure though that cheese is fully melted. That's hard to do now. It's hard to tell, but I think it is. I think it's pretty good. Sometimes you just it's a little bit of going with your gut, right? Where you think, I could give this another 30 seconds and it would be perfect, or I have to take it out now. And right now I'm going with 30 more seconds. So we're almost there. A little tiny bit more. Okay, I think that's 30 seconds. I think that's probably good. I think that's good. Yeah, a little pat there down just to make sure it gets nice and toasty and good. Just, if the bread is coming apart though, then maybe it needs a little more time. I don't know. So let's see. Yeah, I think it's good now. I think we're done.